Okay, we're going to bend a wrought wire clasp around this premolar. I want to be sure that the retentive tip is under the survey line. It's already been surveyed. Okay, our retentive area is right here in the mesial buccal. I'm going to bend that wire. It's going to come from the undercut area under the survey line for a portion of it. Then as it comes to the distal, we got to get up to the survey line and stay at or above in order to be right next to the tooth. We can't have the wire in that undercut because it's not flexible in that area. From here, it can come down and lay on the tissue like that, because our wax is going to extend to that area. So I got a piece of wire. I'm going to take the jagged edge off. I'm going to start by bending a little hook in the end for the terminal 3 millimeters or so to get started. Like that. And I'm going to lay that on there and see if it adapts to the tooth where my red line is, where I marked that. And it does. So that's my starting point. Okay, from there, where the wire leaves the tooth, I'm going to make a little mark. That's where my next bend is going to be with a red pencil. Okay, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to bend another 3 millimeters or so of wire, using a 3-prong pliers for this part, and lay it on there and see if I bent it far enough or not far enough. If I need to, I can go back and bend it sharper, or I can straighten it out. Now I'm running into this molar here, and I'm only pretty on the tooth for another millimeter, so I need to bend that a little sharper. So I'm going to go back to my red mark and bend it with a little sharper bend for a couple millimeters and lay it back on there and see if I'm still adapting to the tooth or not. And that's better. Making sure that my retentive tip is still up there where it goes. Now where it leaves the tooth is right there. And I'm on the survey line, which is where I want to be. So I'm going to come around that distal of that tooth. Another just maybe 3 short bends. Lay it on there, see how we adapt. Not too bad. We were leaving the tooth right here, now we're leaving the tooth up here. I'm pretty close to it all the way across that distal, but I need to make a little bit sharper bend right there if I want to lay right on that. So just one little bend past the flex point. You start to bend it and you'll feel it's going to flex back until you get past a certain point, and that's where you got to go to. So that's going to lay on there like that. And I'm still on the tooth all the way across here, and I'm rounded. The clasp is round like the tooth is, not 3 bends like that. From here, I can pretty much come straight down, okay, down to that area. I don't need to wrap around the lingual because there's going to be acrylic in that area that's going to be the reciprocating part of this wire. So from here, I can go straight down towards the tissue where it's going to get embedded in the acrylic. And I still have room to set the denture tooth right there next to the wire. Now the problem with this bend is that it's going to run down into the cast, so I can't lay it on there. So I'm going to have to guess at how sharp to make that bend. And as it gets down next to the tissue, now I've got to come back posteriorly, distally, and put a little loop where it's going to get embedded in the acrylic. So I'm really kind of guessing at how far down to make this because I can't try it on the cast at this point. Now I can cut that shorter and lay it on here and see how we do and see if we have to make corrections. So now it looks like that, and that's actually not too bad. We could stop right there. Or I could bend that loop a little bit more and close it off. I'll do that. So I've done all this with a 3-prong and a flat on flat and wire cutters. So it looks like that. Now I'm going to, because this is going to be processed, we can wax it down in the retentive spot. If we were going to salt and pepper this acrylic, then we would sticky wax it out on the buckle of the tooth. But we're processing this, so this is all going to be filled with wax, so I can just wax it down to there. Oop. So our clasp should follow the contour of the gingiva, be in the undercut, and be laying right against the tooth and not touching the tissue. The clasp, we can't have them digging into the patient's tissue. And keep in mind that this is a tissue-supported appliance. There's no rests on it. So it looks like that.